Okminje Jinje Bodana, doesn't Sanjay Kunjingoni, Ransan Chukurman Suntan Zepe. So the Meshavla Chazar and the Balin so the Morin Bourget, Dagin Carpete Denjula, Drawame Paratakorshiv Nejan, Kadrin Champo Gone Jesonte, Kuzondo Jingo Drusaldo. Lama Dang, Control Rinpoche, Namba Sanjay, Dazo Sanjay, Tam, Jeje, Lotus, Origin, J. Laptusor, Chalam to Origin, J. Laptusor, Lantruba, Origin, J. Laptusor, Truba Yeshesu, Origin, J. Laptusor, Nama Arya Laike, Dan the Jinke, Drum Datami, Kenanda, Droa Kunji Dage, Jizambar, Tamjeke, Dage, Jetendo, Sanjanam Jizambadang, Loye, Cherajidawa. Jajong Tamanda Baye, Jigolo Cordoso, Jasarawadan, Jajin Shapadan, Jesu Iran Corjin Sawai, Gewa Jonse Dagi Jizapa, Tamjezo Bechanjo Jembo. How are you? Good? Some smiles. We were in the middle of our discussion of the 4 Dharmas of Gampopa and Longchenpa. And this discussion is really meant as an overview or summary. We could easily discuss each one of these 4 principles for the duration of the entire 9 or 10-day retreat. So this is very much an introduction or overview to give you a sense of, as I mentioned at the beginning, the arc or trajectory of the whole path that these principles embody and inculcate. So let's start off more interactively today to see that everyone's been exercising their prajna through listening and prajna through reflecting. So let's have some feedback in the form of very simple capsule statements of what the first 2 of the 4 dharmas are. Do we have a microphone available? I have to pick.
May my mind move toward the Dharma aspiration and moving along the path and becoming the path.
Mm-hmm. So how does one's interest in Dharma become a path, meaning one's way of life? The context for everything that one does. What makes that happen? Or what is required for us to progress to that point?
Taking refuge.
And? Okay. I see a lot of smiles. That means other people know.
When you see that the other strategies that you've used as replacements for real refuge don't work so well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and where does bodhicitta come into that?
Because nobody else's strategies have worked very well either.
Mm-hmm.
And you see that more and more clearly.
Mm-hmm. So when we think that it's the outside world, and especially the people in it, who are in the way or preventing us from achieving the happiness that we seek, that we need to deliver a wake-up call to ourselves and reflect again about interdependence, about the interpersonal nature of happiness, about cause and effect, our precious opportunity, and the examples set for us by the luminaries, the great masters of the past, going back to Shakyamuni Buddha, about the true sources of happiness and contentment. So when we see the projections of our own mind, how we imagine the world to be, and the constructs that we form of who other people are and why they are in our way, that we are deviating, we are off course, we are not taking refuge. We are not taking refuge in our own best nature. We are falling back into the, as you mentioned, the strategies that fail us over and over again. Being on the path means that we can't get away with feeling like the victims of our own lives anymore. Because in every moment, there is something that we can do. And it's up to us whether to remember to do it and to choose to do it and to value doing it so that we go ahead and do it. Our minds are there, present in every moment of experience. And so all the teachings that we've received, all the advice we've received, all the times when we've said, oh yes, that sounds true, all those things can come back into our minds in those moments and alter our perception, alter our speech, alter our heartbeat and our pulse and the heat rising in the chest and all these things, so that we respond differently and we retrain, we recondition ourselves in the positive way. So the Dharma becomes the path when we don't feel like anything that happens to us is contrary to our path, contrary to our spiritual practice. Everything that happens to us is fuel, genuinely is just what we have to deal with our spiritual values, with our presence of mind, with our ability to take another breath, to exercise patience, to stop and tell ourselves, maybe it's not quite as I imagined. Maybe this person is not just the monster I imagined him or her to be. They are also suffering. Maybe it's worth thinking about the nature and source of their suffering if I want to deal with them more effectively, and so on. On the first Dharma, that is the mind going to, may my mind follow the Dharma or go towards the Dharma. I also described this other side of it, which feels more like the Dharma coming to us and taking hold of our minds, right? So that's an interesting way to look at it, that something inspires us or moves us, and the Dharma pulls us towards itself, pulls us out of our habits, out of our blindness, out of our confusion, and wakes us up a little bit so that we're inspired to investigate what's out there. Why did that happen? So the Dharma is manifested or represented in the form of a kind teacher or a spiritual friend or a temple or a blessing pill or whatever the connection is, evokes or awakens something within us. There's a mirroring effect. I wanted to share with you, before we move on from these first two Dharmas, the exquisite verse of generating bodhicitta written by Kunchen Jigme Lingpa that's found in the Longchen Nyingtik preliminary practices, the heart essence of the great expanse, the heart essence of Longchenpa. And this is my own translation. So that transient beings, wandering from link to link in the chain of samsara, whose diverse appearances are like the false face of the moon in water, may come to rest in the expanse of luminous natural awareness, I shall generate bodhicitta within the compass of the four immeasurables. To my mind, you really can't say it any better than that, so I can just quote Jigme Lingpa for that. The third Dharma of Gampopa or Longchenpa is, may the path remove confusion, which is actually a shorthand way of saying, may the path remove confusion and develop or ripen positive qualities. Because these are always two sides of the same coin. These processes are, you could say they're hand in hand, or they're really one and the same. With the removal of confusion, the intensity and frequency of strong habitual negative emotional reactions and responses, with the opening of more clarity and calm, then the natural qualities of our being naturally emerge at the same time. And likewise, as we start to become, moved to respond more generously and compassionately and warmly and spaciously to whatever is occurring, the more that process in itself smooths away or diminishes the power of the negative emotions that aren't that aren't emergent, that aren't asserting themselves anymore, because our pattern has changed. The conscious pattern has replaced the unconscious pattern. So it's always a dual process of removing confusion and brightening or developing positive, naturally present, good qualities that are part of our inner makeup, part of our mind and nature. So we refer to this in Tibetan as sak-jang. Sak is accumulation, jang is purification. And even when we describe higher levels of attainment on the path, we use terms like changjup, like bodhi, that's the Tibetan for bodhi, but what does it mean? Again, jang is purification, jup is blossoming or awakening. Or what is the word for Buddhahood in Tibetan? It is sang-je. Sang is cleansing, purifying. Je is expanding or fully maturing. So from the beginning of the path to the end, it is all this dual process of growing in a positive direction and withering away all the negative tendencies, habits, disturbances, and so forth. So what is happening at this stage when we are at this point in the arc of our path of Dharma, where the path is removing confusion? It's very much about just keeping on going, because this is the level at which we are developing experience, inner confidence that this process is actually working, that we are moving, we are changing. We can see the changes in ourselves. Other people reflect that and point out the changes in us as they observe in their own experience. Often people have the mistaken idea that we can measure the improvement or development of our practice by what kind of amazing, unusual experiences we have. But all experiences come and go, so that's not a measure of real or lasting change. They might be nice, but we can't make too big a deal out of them. Atisha said, the great master Atisha, 1,000 years ago, said that the greatest sign of attainment or accomplishment is the reduction in the force and frequency of our disturbed states of mind. So that's how we should really measure whether all of these hours that we are devoting to something that we are calling our formal practice and all the other things we're doing in our lives to deal with whatever comes up, whether they're really carrying us along in the direction that we had assigned ourselves to go. Well, what does it mean in practice? Well, I mentioned at the beginning, are you exercising your prajnas of hearing and reflecting? You all know, I'm sure, that the third type of prajna is the prajna born of experience or meditation, integrated into your experience. You are seeing yourself become different.